Hey y'all, it's Hunter Elliott with rangehot.com. Hope y'all are doing well. This afternoon I'm finalizing my review of the integrally suppressed barrel for the CZ455 Varmint Taticool 22 long rifle. Man, that's a mouthful, ain't it? So if you will go back to rangehot.com a few months ago, you will notice that I published a review on the 455 Taticool Varmint rifle. Little 22 long rifle bolt action. Fine little rifle, had a lot of fun with it. A very accurate tactical plinker, if you will. And then it was a couple months ago that I actually got the integrally suppressed barrel built for this particular chassis. And immediately swapped it out, which I'll go into in just a minute, and began doing my review on it. The swap out is really easy. I mean, basically you just remove the stock, and then once you've got the stock and the trigger guard off, you've got two little Allen head set screws that basically hold the barrel in. You loosen those and they are pretty tight. Now, loosen those out, get them threaded out, the barrel just slides right off, new barrel puts on, snug those little Allen head set screws back up, reinstall the stock, and you'll be good to go. The owner's manual goes through that a whole lot more, giving you torque specs and all that sort of stuff, which I recommend you follow. But anyway, if I can swap it out, y'all, anybody can do it. So there's that. Something cool is, once I swapped the barrels out, I took it out at 25 yards and checked my zero, and it was not off by much. Now, I'm not going to say that's typical, but it just required a little bit of adjustment to get it back on target. We took it out at 100 yards, took basically the same ammo we tested the 455 with the standard barrel, shot same group, same, and basically we didn't gain or lose any accuracy. It's still with decent ammunition, about an MOA. Some of the better match grade 22 long rifle, shot a little bit tighter groups with some of the subsonic stuff. It opened up very, very similar to the initial review, which I thought was pretty cool because you do lose some barrel because it is integrally suppressed. Part of this barrel is a silencer, so you got to have your tax stamp for that NFA item. But being that it is over 16 inches and the rifle conforms to all the ATF regulations, this is not a 2-stamp SBR. The way this barrel is set up is a little bit different. So I want to show you the little detachable 5-round box magazine is out. The bolt is to the rear, so we know it's safe to talk about. Now, I don't ever recommend getting around the muzzle of a gun, but you know what? We're all adults, and so I've got to get to these baffles because they are threaded into the barrel. So at some point, man, if I got to hear from all the YouTube and Facebook commandos about don't ever cover anything you're not willing to destroy, yeah, I'm with you. I totally agree, but here again, we're all adults, so if it bothers you, look away. The barrel is actually hollowed out as you would expect to be for integrally suppressed. The aluminum baffles are actually threaded into the barrel separately. There's no baffle stack, nothing like that. CZ sends you a little tool that's marked off to where each baffle should set. So basically, it fits right here on the end. Hold your mouth right, Hunter. And you thread the end cap off. Now, once you thread that end cap off, you fit the tool down in the barrel and just begin to screw those baffles right out. Baffle number 1. Now, something else that's pretty cool about this is the way these baffles are cut. They're actually cut very similar to a tap, like a tap and die set. Over the 300 or 400 rounds that you're going to shoot in between cleanings, if you do get a little buildup or lead or what have you, you can see the tool is actually machined where you could put a socket wrench or some sort of tool on it to get a little bit more leverage, and it'll allow these baffles to actually cut their way out. So I'm going to pull all these baffles out and let you get a real good idea of what we're working with here. Okay, y'all, so I'm getting the last of the 4 baffles out. There you go, a little bit of nastiness. So CZ recommends cleaning this thing every 300 rounds or so, especially if you're shooting a lot of that subsonic lead rimfire ammo. I'm going to be honest with you, I got probably 500 or 600 rounds through the barrel here, and I haven't cleaned it at all. The baffles, all of them come out pretty good except for the very last one, the one closest to the rifling. I actually had to get an adjustable wrench to kind of get it broke loose, but it did just like CZ said it would, and it actually wound up cutting the lead out of the way. So every time I pulled the baffle out, a little bit of lead kind of fell out of the muzzle here. So I thought that was pretty cool. So you've actually got 4 threaded baffles and an end cap. All that's made out of 70-75 aluminum, which is, you know, fine for exactly what this little thing was designed for, rimfire 22 long rifle. No problem with that whatsoever. So, speaking of baffles, material, that sort of stuff, let's talk a little bit about how loud was it. Well, I know that there's a little bit of contention in the way that I do my decibel metering. A lot of the manufacturers and a lot of the other people, they measure the peak noise, and of course they got a really nice $8,000 sound meter, and that's fine, but I'm taking a different approach to it. I bought a pretty nice meter. I consulted with the manufacturer, and I know I always go over this, but I'm going to go over it yet again for all those people. The way my meter's set up is, it's basically going to measure the amount of report or noise that the average human is going to hear from whatever you're shooting. And I know that's a whole lot different than peak noise, but understand that peak noise lasts a few thousandths of a second, more than likely not even picked up by your ear. What I'm trying to give you is a real world noise. So basically what I did is I shot 10 rounds of a Guila subsonic 22 long rifle by the sound meter, and it was averaging somewhere around 68 decibels. When, you know, your average blender runs 90 decibels, if you're standing there making your margaritas or your pina coladas or whatever, you know, you're enduring about 90 decibels of noise. Really all that you hear is the firing pin striking that rim, and then whenever the bullet impacts downrange on the berm. So it is pretty quiet. Now with supersonic, obviously it's going to be louder, but still hearing safe. So the integrally suppressed aspect of this, I think, is pretty cool, simply because just looking at it, you would never in the world think that this rifle is suppressed. Some people get a little bit weirded out when they see suppressed firearms for whatever reason. So you can run the integrally suppressed barrel and kind of be a little incognito. MSRP on this is right around $400, so you know it's definitely going to be a little bit more expensive than your average silencer. You know, your little rimfire can that you can swap back and forth. The tool that CZ sends you, it does have some pre-designated markings on it, and that kind of tells you where they suggest to finish threading these baffles in. But if you're also interested in maybe doing a little experimenting, you can certainly change the depth and where you thread them and how close together they are to see if it changes anything on whatever particular load you're running. So you do have some leeway for experimentation if that is your forte, perhaps. And that is about it. So if you've got a 455 Tacticool Varmint bolt action 22 and you want to run a can on it, but you want to kind of be incognito, you've got a really good option. As always, there's going to be an article on rangehot.com with a lot more of the specifications, a lot more of the technical information, that sort of stuff. So if you got any questions, just jump over to rangehot.com, check out the written article, let me know what you think. I always appreciate feedback, good and bad. You can always reach out to us. Find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, the social media gamut, Twitter, everything. Let me know what you think, good, bad, right, or wrong. I want you to take care of yourselves and each other, and I look forward to seeing y'all at the range, but maybe a little quieter this time. Be good, y'all.